Welcome to the Sandy River and Rangeley Lakes Narrow Gauge Railroad YouTube channel. We are releasing a series of videos on the history, locations, and preservation of the historic equipment that has been the ongoing mission for over 50 years now. If this interests you, the Sandy River and Rangeley Lakes Railroad is always looking for new volunteers to help keep this historic and famous railroad and its equipment running, such as train crews, selling tickets, and painting. We welcome people with metalworking, carpentry, engineering, mechanical skills, or just a pair of hands to help others. If you are from away, you can still join as a member and watch and be kept up to date online or donate to a good cause. For those who want to visit the Sandy River and Rangeley Lakes Railroad in Phillips, Maine, and enjoy a ride over a section of the former Phillips and Rangeley Railroad, visit their webpage at www.srr-rr.org for operating times and dates. The website also has an online store from which you can view and order items, from narrow gauge books to clothing. As for future endeavors, they will not be on any particular schedule, so you need to hit the subscribe button to be notified of future updates when a new video is uploaded. Welcome to the Sandy River and Rangeley Lakes YouTube channel. This will be a long format video based on the signals and semaphores at Phillips and Strong. The information was discovered over a multi-year period and will be presented not as it was discovered or figured out. All Main Central letters in this video are from the Special Collections Department, University of Maine at Orono. I want to thank the 470 Club for 2 semaphore photos from their Melvin collection. Should you want more information on the 470 Club, you can find them on Facebook. If you do not do Facebook, you can get information at moreinfo@470rrclub.org. The first section concerns a Phillips signal at Main Street, the second section a later Phillips semaphore, and the third the Strong ball signal and plans for a semaphore. Section 2 and 3 are an expansion of information after the publication of the next stop is Farmington. All Main Central letters in this video are from the Special Collections Department at the University of Maine, Orono. I want to thank Bill Hanks, and his help with the semaphores. Now retired, Bill started out as a CNS maintainer for the Victorian Railways in Australia, and then over 28 years as a signal engineering designer in Australia and overseas for a total of 48 years in signaling. The railroad had ball signals at Farmington, Strong, and Phillips. These operated until 1935. The first reported signal mast was installed at Farmington between November 21st and the 24th, 1879. Ball signals will not be covered in depth, only the one at Strong as it relates to the semaphore letters, rules, and photos. I cannot emphasize enough, a lot of dots are being connected towards a conclusion of a Main Street signal. In the end, with all the evidence laid out, you will need to draw your own conclusions about what was at Main Street. You are looking at the Phillips Main Street crossing during a July 4th parade looking north from the Sandy River Railroad to the Phillips and Rangeley Railroad, also called the P&R. The P&R began limited operations in the fall of 1890 and full service in mid-1891. This photo sets up the who, what, and when of the coming Phillips semaphore. Across Main Street, on the left, is the Daggett House, which the P&R bought and used as their office. The lot was the P&R yard with an engine house and turntable, both obscured here by the Daggett House. The faint edge of the P&R engine house, which means this photo predates the June 1904 engine house fire. A better view of the P&R engine house on the left, showing the tangent track between a covered bridge over the Sandy River and Main Street. Next to the track is the P&R car barn, also seen in the Main Street photo. Along the east side of the P&R yard are telegraph poles that went to Rangeley, the end of the PNR. First, with this photo, when putting together the next stop is Farmington, I believe I discovered a semaphore signal controlling the PNR traffic into the Sandy River yard. The large white pole next to the switch banner is not a grade crossing signpost. Here is the Main Street crossing sign with the PNR locomotive number 3 with a snow train, and shows only 2 telegraph poles between the station and Main Street. When the Main Central ran the PNR between 1893 and 1895, they left a paper trail of items they built or sold to the PNR. Nothing related to Main Street is noted. Let's put some dates to the photo. The flanger is believed to be the 1893 Main Central built unit. In the background is the covered depot replaced in 1900. The number 3, as explained, in the next stop is Rangeley. This look is post-winter 1896-1897 onward due to the name George M. Goodwin is not painted on the cab side. What is missing in the photo? The white post we have seen in the previous photo. What is not known is when the white post was installed here, but it's post-winter 1896-1897. A 1920s Main Street photo showing only one grade crossing sign located at Main Street. A 1911 Main Central document describes crossing posts as 8 inches by 8 inches by 18 feet. In this photo, is the white post round or square? I'll come back to the shape later. Using PNR lawsuit documents, we know the switch seen here had 9 switch ties. From the most south switch tie, it was 158 ties to where the Sandy River and PNR connected, which from lawsuit information shows us it was 248 feet. You can see the semaphore shadow here in a stop position on the ground between the pole and the track. Besides the shadow, there were other reasons why I thought it was a semaphore mast. First, both tracks take you into the Sandy River Railroad property. Second, there is a 1909 account of yard poles being painted black and white, yet this photo is years prior. Does being painted white make it railroad property? Third, this is not a telegraph pole. We saw those already along the tree line and between the crossing and the depot. A few weeks after my discovery, I showed the photo to someone and was informed he saw the same photo years ago at a train show stating the same conclusion. I sent it to Bill thinking he would enjoy it. Bill informed me I was wrong, since the shadows should have been cast on Main Street, not westward. I made a paper semaphore on a mop handle to experiment with shadows, and Bill was right. Remember, at some point a ball signal was installed in the Sandy River Yard's south end. So why only control movement from one direction? Further digging led me to believe the shadow was from a power pole crossarm seen here again in this photo. After going back and forth over why I still thought it was somehow railroad related, Bill came up with his second observation. Could it be a signal mast? Note that I do not claim this is a ball signal, since the bottom mounted pulleys used in raising and lowering the balls seen in the ball signal photos are missing. Also missing are pole rungs or a ladder seen in all the later photos. Nor are we saying it's a semaphore either. Back to the question of whether the mast is round or square. If you believe it is square, are the sides causing shadows, or are the control cables giving it the illusion of being square? If you believe it is round, on the left side of the pole are visible dark lines of the control wires. The photo is not of the best quality. I believe due to the lack of rungs, ladders, or controlling wires from the station, just a simple signal type was used here, controlled through the box seen at the mast base, protecting the pulleys and wires from ice and snow. The example seen here is the bottom of an Australian semaphore. If you believe those were cables in the previous photos, then the only way to control the signal was to walk to it and hand crank it. The Phillips ball signal was not near the station either, but the station had plenty of personnel to raise and lower signals by hand as needed. Here we are now after 1900, due to the second Phillips station that replaced the covered depot, but prior to the 1908 addition. Note, there is no semaphore yet, as we will see soon, between the station and Main Street. We zoom in to the crossing, and again, the crossing sign is in the same location. We can see one of the telegraph poles between the station and Main Street. What we cannot see is if there was still a white post at the crossing. The house blocks our view. This view on the left was taken between the summer of 1900 and June 7th, 1903, when the last wooden engine house burned. These two photos show us that this end of the station platform had no signaling equipment, as it leads us into the next section about the semaphore. I leave it to you to draw your own conclusions as to what role, if any, this white mast may have played, along with any dates it was installed or could have been operational in the Main Street photo. We hope you enjoyed this video. This will be the first of 3 videos, as we stated, and the next one will be on the Phillips semaphore. Thank you very much. Bye.